Hey guys, Ben here, welcome back to another video. The news that we've been waiting for is finally here. We've got official casting news in regards to Supergirl in the DCEU. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future DCTV videos later this year. Okay, so as you all know, I'm a big Supergirl fan. We've been talking about Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow on this channel for quite a while. And we've heard rumors recently that James Gunn would be involved in the casting. It wouldn't be directly cast by the eventual director of that film. It's going to be cast by James Gunn and obviously the casting directors. And that is because she is rumored to appear in Superman Legacy. We'll talk more about that later because the article from Deadline actually talks a little bit about that and teases when we could see this Supergirl show up for the first time. But the big news is in regards to DC Studios doing screen tests for the role of Supergirl in the DCU. And honestly, my first reaction to seeing this article, as I said in my live stream yesterday, I was quite surprised. Like, I didn't expect to hear official news quite so soon. Obviously, it makes sense that they would get casting if they are going to appear in Superman Legacy, because obviously they start filming in March and there will probably be leaks, and so we find out eventually who would be playing Supergirl. I didn't expect to get any official report from any of the major trades in Hollywood to do with this, because I thought they would try and keep it more under wraps, and I think James Gunn probably didn't want this article to come out, but Deadline obviously got the scoop, and we're going to break this article down and go into what they have to say. So they say, we are hearing that DC Studios is planning to test actresses soon to star in Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, and that actresses Millie Alcock from Game of Thrones or from House of the Dragon, Emilia Jones from Coda, and Meg Donnelly, who most recently played Supergirl in Crisis on Infinite Earths, the animated film, are in the mix. So there is a chance that the studio could make a straight offer to a star. So I guess all of these people could be regarded as stars, but all things are pointed towards screen tests for actresses, which will go down within the next month or so, we hear. So I like the sound of that. I like that they're searching for the perfect Supergirl. I really hope they don't make a straight offer to a star, even if out of these three people, these three actresses, if they really like one of them, I hope that they do the screen test, and I hope that they actually choose the right person, because that's what they've done with the past Supergirls. Obviously, you had Sasha Calle most recently. There was lots of screen tests for that in The Flash. I think she was a great Supergirl, but sadly The Flash didn't do very well, and it's the end of the DCEU, so they can't really continue with her. So you're not going to see her in Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, sadly for her. But Melissa Benoist, that was screen test when they cast for Supergirl on CBS originally. So I think they should stick to this path, and I hope to hear some sort of news soon, and I think we will in the next month or so. Let's continue with this article, and we're not going to break this bit down right now, but I'm going to mention it. So Deadline understands that Natch, DC Studios co-boss James Gunn, is definitely part of the process, as this character is likely to make its debut via a cameo in a DC project that isn't Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. The search is still ongoing for a director. That's very interesting. We're going to talk about that after we've talked more about the main actors who have been linked to Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. So let's go into that first, and then we'll jump back to that right away. So Alcock is best known for her lead role on the HBO Game of Thrones spin-off House of the Dragon, playing a Targaryen. If we talk about like recency bias, she's definitely one that people who are fans of that show are going to say, okay, she would make a great Supergirl because they like her as an actor. I haven't personally watched House of the Dragon yet. I love Game of Thrones, but I just haven't got around to seeing the spin-off yet. But I've heard she's a good actor. I don't personally jump at the idea of her being Supergirl. I guess it's just because I'm a big Supergirl fan myself. I guess personally I want to have someone that I know a bit better to play her, or I would like someone completely random. That's what I liked about Sasha's casting in the DCU, because I didn't know of Sasha before, but I thought she made a good Supergirl. But I think with this Supergirl, I think it's going to be a little bit more aligned to Melissa's Supergirl, but with a bit more of an edge, which is what they have been saying in regards to Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Because of the story and how it goes, I highly recommend you read Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow by Tom King. It's a really good comic run recently. Okay, so the next person that we've got linked to Supergirl is Emilia Jones, who is well known for Netflix series Lock and Key. I'm sure some of you guys have seen that show, but I would say she is best known for the Oscar Best Picture winning Coda. Now, I loved Coda. I really loved Emilia Jones in the role that she played in that film. I was really impressed with her acting, and so personally, obviously, I would like to see her play Supergirl, but again, that's kind of recency bias. That's the bias that I really like this film that she's in, and I think she's a really good actor. And I think at the end of the day, all you need to look for is a good actor, and then you're gonna find something within that Supergirl, even if it isn't, you know, exactly what you imagine from the comics. And I think Emilia Jones would be a good pick because of her acting chops, and she's pretty young. She's obviously starring in quite a bit of projects, but she's still an upcoming actor. She's not a proper star yet, despite being in the film that won the Best Picture a couple years ago. So yeah, I would be a big fan of that. But let's talk about Meg Donnelly for now, because Meg Donnelly actually makes the most sense out of any of these three, and that is because she is currently starring as Supergirl in Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3, which are coming out soon. And so she was also in that Supergirl Legion of Superheroes film, playing Supergirl as well. So she is Supergirl. She's already played Supergirl in animated form, obviously just being the voice actor of Supergirl, but it just makes a lot of sense that they would translate it to live action as well. So I would say Meg Donnelly has a chance just because of her link to Supergirl. Now, I'm not saying maybe she's the best actor out of all three of these, I don't know, but she makes a lot of sense because James Gunn has previously said that he's into the idea of having animated shows being linked into the DCEU and having those same voice actors play the same character in live action. So if they kind of continue what they're doing over in the Tomorrowverse with Crisis on Infinite Earths and Supergirl Legion of Superheroes, if they continue that and adapt it and kind of change the universe to link it to the DCU and Creature Commandos, which is the first DCU project but also the first animated DCU project, we know that loads of those actors are going to appear in live action, or that is the plan eventually. It would actually make a lot of sense for Meg Donnelly to play Supergirl, and I know a lot of fans are going to be clamoring to get her to play Supergirl just because she played her already, and I wouldn't be mad at that. I would be okay with that. So let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of these three actors? Who would be your best pick? Would it be Millie Olcott? Would it be Emilia Jones or Meg Donnelly? Would you like to see Supergirl in the animated form be the same as the live action? Or would you like someone different as Supergirl in the DCU? Obviously, this is casting for the greater DCU. This isn't just for one specific film. It's not just for Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Also, if we read out the description of what the Supergirl is going to be like, you can kind of judge who you think could play that edgier version of Supergirl. So when they announced Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, back when they did that big DCU announcement, James Gunn said, "In our series, we see the difference between Superman, who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents from the time he was an infant, versus Supergirl, who was raised on a rock, a chip off Krypton, and watched everyone around her die and be killed in terrible ways for the first 14 years of her life, and then came to Earth when she was a young girl. She's much more hardcore. She's not exactly the Supergirl we're used to seeing, and if you guys have read Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, you know that she is basically on a mission of vengeance throughout the whole series. So it's going to be bloody, it's going to be brutal. She even wields a sword in the comic book series when she is under a red sun, so she doesn't have her powers. So who do you think out of these three actors could be a good bet for that kind of edgier, darker Supergirl? Well, now I just have to say one more thing before we go back to that topic that I said we need to discuss in regards to when Supergirl is going to show up in the DCU. Is it going to be a via cameo or not? We have to talk about this. So yes, we're hearing about Millie Olcott, Emilia Jones, and Meg Donnelly as being in the mix, but I'm sure there are more actors than just them in the mix. In all likelihood, it could be someone completely different, and maybe Deadline has just seen a list of maybe 10 actors who have been called up to do screen tests, and these three were the biggest among the names, and maybe that's just their headline because they say they're just in the mix. That doesn't mean that they're officially the final three or something. So you could see none of them cast as Supergirl eventually. I think it just really matters on who is the best and who James Gunn sees fit to play Supergirl for their iteration of the character. For now, let's hop back to that paragraph that we skipped over. So DC co-boss James Gunn is definitely part of the process according to Deadline, as this character, who will likely make its debut via a cameo in a DC project that isn't Supergirl, and the search is still ongoing for a director. So that means James Gunn is forcing himself in, being heavily involved in the casting, and he's not waiting for the director, because they don't have a director for this film yet. And that is because Supergirl is reportedly going to be appearing in another DC project that isn't Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, and that will come out before that. Now, what project in the DCU makes most sense? Well, of course, that's Superman Legacy, and I think the reason that you're hearing about Supergirl castings already is because they are prepping for Superman Legacy right now. We know they're starting to film in March, so of course they would be casting and finalizing everything right now. So it's nearly certain that Supergirl will appear in Superman Legacy, even just as a cameo. I mean, it could be a kind of bigger role, or it could be a post-credit scene. Anyway, it will be a moment or two to set up Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow and basically establish her in the DCU early on, because she's going to be important. She's going to probably have the second or third film in the DCU. So it'll go Superman Legacy, and then it will either go Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow or Batman the Brave and the Bold. Now, I don't believe we know anything to do with a writer on Brave and the Bold right now, but we do have a director, that being Andy Muschietti, who most recently directed the Flash film. We know that he is the director on that, but Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow has a writer. I believe the screenplay is at a good stage, and the only problem is they don't have a director right now. So, you know, they're both at similar stages, and either one of them is going to be the next film after Superman Legacy comes out. But I think in regards to James Gunn, this just proves that Supergirl is going to be an important character if he is introducing her so early and he is casting her himself. I think this is definitely a clear indication of where Supergirl is at and why she's going to be a big character in this new universe. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to seeing Supergirl in Superman Legacy. This is definitely something that, you know, I wasn't completely shocked to hear that they're casting for Supergirl, because we heard all these rumors that Supergirl will be in the film that James Gunn is making. But, you know, it's really good to actually have something official, and we'll have to wait and see who is actually offered the role when it comes to the final decision before Superman Legacy begins. Let me know down in the comments below, who is your favorite out of Millie Olcott, Emilia Jones, and Meg Donnelly? Would you like to see that live action animation crossover, or would you like to see, you know, a Game of Thrones actor playing Supergirl, or a Best Picture winning actor playing Supergirl? So let me know down in the comments below. Leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed the video. It would really help this video get out there. Also subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. But for now, you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.
I see red.